I'm sorry.
I think I just did.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to the voting session of the Ways and Means Committee. First up is House Bill 35, which I believe has an amendment. Delegate Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 35, State Board of Elections Contracts and Invoices Requirements. As introduced, this bill requires the appointed members of the State Board of Elections to approve contracts of $50,000 or more, and it also made other alterations in terms of how the costs and election systems are shared. However, by amendment, we struck the bill. So we struck those provisions that I just mentioned. And we substituted a provision that just codifies the existing cost sharing, the 50-50 cost sharing between the state and the locals. And then we also added a requirement that there be at least as many precinct polling locations in 2022 as there were in 2018. So that's the amendment.
Is there a motion on the amendments?
So moved.
Second. Okay, is there a discussion on the amendments? Delegate Buckle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I just wanted to clarify that, for some of our folks that might have been on election law. So basically all we're doing with the bill now is keeping the existing system, which was the sort of agreement, as I recall it at least, between the counties and the state, that they would share the cost of the election machines and the administrative costs 50-50. And we're not expanding the number of precinct polling locations, but we're saying, hey, we're not cutting them either. You're keeping the gross number, the aggregate number, the same as what they were 4 years ago. So we don't have any restriction on polling places. They can move them around, but they have to keep the same aggregate number.
Exactly. Those are two things it does now.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Okay.
Other discussion on the amendments? Is there a motion on the bill as amended? Anyone want to move the bill as amended?
So moved.
Favorable.
Second.
There's a second? Okay.
Second.
Is there a desire to have this done by a roll call? Or an all in favor situation? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Any opposition, please say nay. Okay, thank you. The bill passes.
I think, Madam Chair, I think you missed Darrell Barnes' nay. No, I'm joking.
Okay, next, House Bill 203. And is this, Barnes, is this you?
I think it's Alonzo. No, I got it. All right, House Bill 203. The bill allows a homeowner to receive a homestead property tax credit retroactively for 1 year if the homeowner was eligible for a credit but did not apply. Move the bill.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on the bill? Okay, seeing none, is there a desire to have a roll call taken? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it and the bill passes. Thank you. House Bill 204.
Yeah, House Bill 204, the bill allows basically the same thing. Allows the homeowner to receive a homeowner's property tax credit retroactively for 1 year. One, if the homeowner is applying for the credit for the first time. And two, the homeowner has filed an application for the preceding 3 years. Move the bill.
Second. Okay, any discussion on the bill? Yes, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can I just ask a question? I was talking to Stan earlier today about this homeowner's tax credit. Do homeowners have to apply for this every year? Is that the thing?
Yes, they do. It's an annual application under current law.
At some point, are we going to make it permanent? That they don't have to apply every year if they live in the home?
They have to verify their eligibility qualifications though, right?
If the income level changes or something, right?
Right.
That's the current law, yes. But as you know, Delegate Feldmark has a bill on that.
Thank you, Delegate Feldmark. I knew she was ahead of the game.
Yeah, but it ain't going nowhere. I mean,
Okay, any other discussion on the bill? Okay, did we move the bill? Yeah, we moved the bill. Is there any desire to have a roll call taken? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposition? Okay, thank you. House Bill 204 has passed. House Bill 226, and there are some amendments that need some explanation. So Delegate Eversol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 226 creates a self-contained special education classroom video recording program. The viewing of video recordings is tightly controlled. They may only be viewed by members of the county, school, law enforcement, and child protective services until a resolution of a complaint. The amendments clarify the definition of a self-contained special education classroom. They make the installation of video recording devices in self-contained special education classrooms a pilot program for 10 years. For 10 schools for 2 years. The program is to be administered by the Division of Early Intervention and Special Education Services within the State Department of Education. The division will select 5 local school systems for participation in the pilot program. The county superintendent in those systems will select 1 self-contained special education classroom at the secondary level and 1 self-contained special education class at the elementary level. They will be among the largest enrolled classes in those settings. For installation of a video recording device, devices will be installed in the 2023-24 school year and the 2024-25 school years. Notice of device installation must be given to parents and to students, but it also now must be given to teachers as well 2 weeks prior to the installation. The amendments remove the requirement that video recording devices be in exclusion areas, as exclusion areas didn't really apply here. The amendments also remove the maximum storage time. A county board of education may keep the video recording. Additionally, the amendments require notice be given. School personnel, I'm reading something that I inserted myself. That the recordings cannot be used in evidence in non-criminal complaint against school personnel, as well as disciplinary action against other students that were not part of the complaint. And that school personnel, in addition to families, be allowed to view the footage after the complaint. The amendments further require that MSD issue a report evaluating the pilot program's effect on reducing neglect and abuse to other self-contained special education classrooms. And the amendments provide for an appropriation for the pilot program. Sorry, it's Friday, a little stumbly there. I move the amendments.
Second.
Approve them.
Second.
Discussion on the amendments. Okay, all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, is there a motion on the bill as amended?
Move the bill as amended, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Is there a second? Was there a second?
Second.
Alonzo says so.
There, any discussion on the bill as amended? Is there a desire for a roll call on this? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, House Bill 226 is out of here. Woohoo! All right, House Bill 384, Delegate Eversol, amendments.
This is the bill that puts bronchodilators on a similar standing to EpiPens or epinephrine. The bill requires each county board of education to develop a policy for the administration of bronchodilators to students who appear to be experiencing asthma-related symptoms or appear to be in respiratory distress. Because of the medical concerns about pre-kindergartners who may display symptoms that look like asthma but aren't, pre-kindergartners have been carved out of being able, they must have a diagnosis or prescription to receive it. Schools are authorized to accept donations of bronchodilators. School personnel who respond in good faith to respiratory distress may not be held liable. The bill authorizes but does not require a parallel policy for non-public schools. Additionally, the bill alters provisions of the school policies for auto-injectable epinephrine to bring them in line with the parts of this bill. Amendments require that a training be identified or developed and given to school nurses and designated volunteers, those designated by the school nurse, on how to distinguish respiratory distress from anaphylaxis. Training will be given to school nurses and volunteers designated. Training is paid professional development. Additionally, the amendments alter school policies on epinephrine. We already said this. That's a second sentence. Thank you there, Alistair, for that one. It brings them into line. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion on the amendments?
Yeah, I
So
moved the
moved.
amendments. The committee approved them
Second.
unanimously.
Oh, okay. So is there a motion on the bill as amended?
No, I'm sorry. I just meant the subcommittee.
Okay. Let's approve the amendments. All in favor of the amendments, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any discussion on the amendments? Is there a motion on the bill as amended?
Move favorable, Madam Chair.
Second.
Any discussion on the bill as amended? Okay, is there a desire for a roll call on this? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say, I'm sorry, who said something? Did somebody say something?
That was just Delegate Long with a delayed aye.
Oh, okay, thank you. And any opposition, please say nay. Okay.
Got to
House
sing the
Bill-
praises of the Early Childhood Subcommittee for really sticking with us on getting these ironed out a little bit.
See, you spoke too soon because I was about to sing the praises of the Early Childhood Subcommittee and say what a great job that you have done.
Madam Chair, how do you feel about the Early Childhood Subcommittee? I'm curious.
You guys had some difficult, dicey things, and I appreciate all the work of all the members of the subcommittee and its leadership. Thank you all very much. House Bill 428. Madam Subcommittee Chair Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 428, Election Law, Foreign Manufacture of Election Systems, Notification and Termination of Contract. This bill requires that an election service provider must notify the state administrator of elections if any component of an election system was manufactured outside of the United States. And then the administrator is required to notify other state officials if she receives a report of foreign manufacture of an election system and may terminate the contract if a foreign manufacturer would compromise or appear to compromise the integrity of our elections. There are no amendments. Move favorable on the bill.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the bill? Okay, is there a desire for a roll call on this? No roll call? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, thank you. House Bill 428 passes unanimously. House Bill 445.
Sure, Madam Chair, this bill would change the certain advertisement that local governments are required to publish in the newspaper about property tax increases. This bill still has some work to do, and I motion that we send it to an interim study.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
I hear you correctly, Delegate Barnes. We're going to motion it for interim study.
Yes, sir.
You didn't say summer breeze. I didn't know what you were saying.
I was waiting on Janelle. She's been practicing here lately.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, that has been moved to an interim study. House Bill 495, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 495 requires that each county board of education develop a written policy for student organized peaceful demonstrations that includes guidelines for the manner of peaceful demonstrations and defines reasonable requirements for limiting peaceful demonstration. Public schools may not prohibit students organize peaceful demonstrations or discipline a school for engaging in a peaceful demonstration if the student complies with the county board's policy. This is a bill that we had last year and we passed in the same posture as last year. Move the bill.
Second.
Discussion on the bill? Okay, any desire for a roll call?
I think we might on this one.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you. The vice chair. So the
Yes.
motion's for favorable. Vice chair.
Yes.
Delegate Attar.
Yes.
Delegate Barnes.
Yes.
Delegate Boatler.
No.
Delegate Branch.
Yes.
Delegate Buckle.
No.
Delegate Charles.
Yes.
Delegate Eversole.
Yes.
Delegate Feldmark.
Yes.
Delegate Griffith.
No.
Delegate Guyton.
Yes.
Delegate Hartman. I know he's,
No,
thank you.
no, thank you.
Delegate Hornberger.
No.
Delegate Ivy.
Yes.
Delegate Jones.
Yes.
Delegate Lasanti.
No.
Delegate Long.
No,
Delegate Lukey.
Yes.
Delegate Plavkovich Carr.
Yes.
Delegate Patterson.
Yes.
Delegate Rose.
No.
And Delegate Wilkins.
Yes.
14-8. The bill passes. Thank you. House Bill 515, and there are amendments. The Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a wonderful Delegate Feldmark bill here. This bill, this bill as amended requires county boards of education, the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association, and institutions of higher education to allow student athletes to modify their athletic uniforms for modesty reasons, to conform to religious, cultural, or the student's own sense of modesty. Modification to a uniform may not interfere with the movement of an athlete or pose safety risk to anyone. Authorized modifications include modifications that are black, white, or the predominant color of the team, and those without opening or closings around the face or neck. The amendment, Madam Chair, adds that the student's own preference for modesty to the reasons of allowed for modifying a student athletic uniform. I move the amendment.
Second.
Discussion on the amendments. Okay, Delegate Buckle.
Mr. Vice Chair, so my understanding, I'm not in the education subcommittee, but the amendment basically says that if the students, I'll just use the word subjective desire for modesty, says, hey, they want to wear some different type of garment, I would assume leggings or some type of undergarment, they can do that subjectively?
Correct.
Okay. I appreciate that. I mean, I have a mild concern about it. I really like the intent of the bill, having played some high school sports myself, that it'll just start to subsume basically the exception will subsume the rule eventually, but I appreciate your clarification.
No problem.
I have a question.
Yes, Delegate Butler. Oh, Delegate Long, sorry.
So, yeah, Delegate Long. I know it's for modesty, but it could actually go the other way if they wanted to modify their uniform, that they felt it was modest, to raise it up 2 or 3 inches. I'm just asking. I don't know.
No, I don't think so, Bob. Delegate Long. Alice, you want to hop in here?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's only for modesty purposes, and it's only for a limited number of things: leggings, shirts, and religious head coverings.
It's
Right.
it's additional clothing, Bob. Delegate Long.
Okay, what I'm saying is modest to me might be different to someone else. And that's why I was asking the question, it's very vague. But go ahead, thank you.
Delegate Rose.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And this I brought up at subcommittee. I mean, I really have no problem with the bill. I'm not a fan of the amendment. And so for that reason, I just feel that it's too vague and it's too broad, and I feel like I can't support it, but I absolutely appreciate the intent. And I just wanted to, say that. So thank you.
Delegate Hartman.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So similar concerns. I was a fan of the bill originally.
one of my concerns with the amendment, the administration can't question or challenge this, correct, Alistair?
That is correct. They could challenge students' modification for not meeting with safety concerns or limiting the athlete's movement, or for not being of the colors of the school or those listed colors, but for other reasons they cannot.
Right. So if we're saying they want to add, something for the purpose of modesty, that means they could change their uniform shirt, because they could say that the other shirt was, we're saying it's limited to leggings and things like that. But if they wanted to change their shirt, they could, correct?
It will still be amongst the approval for it still have to be in line with the colors, with what the uniform looks like. It will still have to be in line with that, with whatever the uniform currently looks like. So they just can't, if the current shirt is a green shirt and they wanted to do a red shirt with long sleeves, they can't do that, right? It doesn't conform with the rest of the uniform, the original uniform.
Right. So in accordance with what Delegate Long was saying, somebody could change their shirt, having other ramifications and leaving no recourse for the administration. Correct?
No, that's incorrect.
Well, if it was conforming with color and everything else, it was conforming with color and safety. How could that be disputed if the administration cannot challenge the uniform for other reasons than color and safety?
Alistair, you want to respond to this?
Yeah, they can't be modifying the uniforms really. They could be just like adding, it's more to designed to, if you have like if you have like a basketball shirt, you wear like a t-shirt underneath or a long sleeve shirt, not to replace that uniform with street clothes or something like that.
Okay, thanks for the clarification. I think I still like the original bill, so thank you for your help.
Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Quick question is following up on Delegate Hartman's question. In reading the bill, and again, not the smartest guy here, obviously, I don't, other than it's saying, the only thing I see on there with anyone who can challenge the uniform is, according to the bill, I don't read, I'm sorry, I do not read in the bill where it says that the administration can even challenge the bill as far as safety and color and things of that nature. I just don't see that laid out in the bill at all. The only thing that even I can see that speaks to the ability to challenge the uniform is that the coach may not challenge it. So I don't see where it lays out that a coach or administrator may challenge the uniform modification that make sure it's in accordance with the bill.
Delegate Griffith, you and I were on the same page for a lot of bills, man. I'm disappointed. No, I'm joking. Alistair, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's correct that there's not a specific provision for that. However, when the legislature is silent to that and a question is given to instrumentality of the state or locality to implement, it is up to their own interpretation to implement. So in this case, because there's only limited described modifications that can be used, the intent here and how it would be interpreted is that the school systems would be the ones to say whether or not those modifications had been met. So it's true that a coach or school cannot say that because that someone who's seeking to wear a kippah, for instance, is violating the code. They could say if someone is seeking to wear something that might prove to restrict their own movement or put them at a safety risk, that would be disallowed.
So just be clear, a coach would, again, being very technical, obviously, because we don't want unintended consequences. A coach would be able to say, hey, this violates safety or color or those things under the bill.
Yes, that's correct.
Right? And so, and again, Delegate Washington, I do intend to support this for the same reason. I don't think that, the state should be interfering with, even when it's publicly funded, should be interfering with anybody's religious rights. So that's why I intend to support this bill. Thank you.
Oh, my man, coming back home. I love it.
Other discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendments, please raise your hand. Okay, lower your hands, please. All opposed to the amendments, please raise your hand. The amendments pass. Is there a motion on the bill as amended?
I move the bill as amended.
Second.
There discussion on the bill as amended? We'll do a roll call. The Vice Chair,
Yes.
Delegate Attar,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Boatler,
No.
Delegate Branch,
Yes.
Delegate Buckle,
No.
Delegate Charles,
Yes.
Delegate Ebersol,
Yes.
Delegate Feldmark,
Yes.
Delegate Griffith,
Yes.
Delegate Guyton,
Yes.
Delegate Hartman,
No.
Delegate Hornberger,
Yes.
Delegate Ivy,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Lasanti,
Yes.
Delegate Long,
No.
Delegate Lukey,
Yes.
Delegate Plakovich Carr,
Yes.
Delegate Patterson,
Yes.
Delegate Rose,
No.
Delegate Wilkins,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Circling back really quickly, there was a vote change requested on House Bill 495, which I will allow because it does not change the outcome of the vote. Delegate Lasanti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My lips didn't work, so I
Okay,
vote yes on House Bill 495.
thank you. Okay, House Bill 730. Is that Barnes? No,
that's
is that Lukey? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 730 makes alterations to the Maryland Innovation Initiative Program, which is a program that helps universities to hire highly qualified faculty. And specifically, it for institutions with an unrestricted current funds budget of less than $250 million, it would allow the minimum threshold to qualify for the program to be lowered to $200,000. The bill got unanimous support from members of the subcommittee, despite the profound sponsor problems with the bill.
Definitely.
Move the bill.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the bill? Okay. Does anybody desire a roll call? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. House Bill 730 is out of here. House Bill 769, and there are amendments. The Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 769 alters definitions for covered information and operators for the purposes of protecting student data privacy from being shared. The bill also reauthorizes the Student Data Privacy Council and requires the council to make certain recommendations on best security practices and to report to the governor and a General Assembly on its findings. The amendments remove a requirement that each county board of education and MSDE keep a list of approved digital tools. I move the amendments.
Second.
Discussion on the amendments. Okay, all in favor of the amendments, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, is there a motion on the bill as amended?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the bill as amended? Okay, anyone want a roll call? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, House Bill,
I think Mark Fisher will want one though, a roll call on this bill.
I think he wants Amanda on.
Please don't start. Don't start.
House Bill 769 as amended has passed. House Bill 791, Delegate Lukey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 791 makes two clarifications to the existing sales and use tax on digital products. In particular, it clarifies that that a product having electrical, digital, magnetic, wireless, etc. capabilities where the purchaser holds a copyright in the product and the product is used for advertising or marketing activities is not subject to taxation, and then further that certain types of enterprise software systems are not subject to taxation. The bill was a contested vote. I believe it passed subcommittee 5-2, so we're gonna need a roll call on this one. Move the bill.
Second.
We will do is there a discussion on the bill? Delegate Buckle?
My recollection, Delegate Lukey, is that this bill was the result of a compromise between some of the businesses that use these digital products or that are most severely affected by the digital product sales tax that was implemented a couple of years ago, and the various stakeholders, including comptroller's office. Is that fair to say that this was sort of an agreed decision as to how we could better clarify what was and was not subject to the tax?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say this bill is the result of a series of conversations between taxpayers and tax administrators over the specifics of implementation of the previous law. So it's intended to be clarifying.
Yeah, I took it as a fairly pro-business bill from the standpoint of the taxpayers getting tax certainty and eliminating some products that otherwise may have been subject to the tax that probably weren't really intended to be included. So I intend to support the bill. Thank you.
Delegate Hornberger?
Yeah, just wanted some more clarity here. Is this a tax cut of the tax that we passed last year? In other words, is the fiscal note on the policy we passed year less tax revenue than it was in its former posture?
It's, it's fair to say that this, had anyone paid the sales and use tax for these items, then after we pass this law, they will not have to pay them anymore. But for the most part, people haven't actually paid it because these are kind of in a gray area right now. It's unclear whether they're part of the sales and use tax, so this just clarifies that they're not.
Okay, and then second question, if I may. Last year I had posed the question about NFTs, basically creative works.
This doesn't impact NFTs in any way.
All right, thank you.
Other discussion on the bill? Okay, is it desired that this is a roll call? Okay.
We'll need a roll call.
Just going by. Okay. The vice chair,
Yes.
Delegate Attar,
Yes.
Delegate Barnes,
Yes.
Delegate Boatler,
Yes.
Delegate Branch,
Yes.
Delegate Buckle,
Yes.
Delegate Charles,
Yes.
Delegate Ebersol,
Yes.
Delegate Feldmark,
Yes.
Delegate Griffith,
Yes.
Delegate Guyton,
Yes.
Delegate Hartman,
Yes.
Delegate Hornberger,
Yes.
Delegate Ivy,
Yes.
Delegate Jones,
Yes.
Delegate Lasanti,
Yes.
Delegate Long,
Yes, and I'd like to explain why I'm changing my vote.
okay,
It was clarified. I thought that this might have increased taxes for business owners. Now it's clarified. It's a good bill. Thank you. Yes.
thank you. Delegate Lutke,
Yes.
Delegate Plavkovich Carr,
No.
Delegate Patterson,
Yes.
Delegate Rose,
Yes.
Delegate Wilkins.
Yes.
Okay, House Bill 791 passes out of committee. Our final bill for the day, House Bill 809, and there is an amendment. Delegate Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill requires SDAT to process an application for a property tax exemption for a disabled veteran or surviving spouse before the individual purchases a home. The amendment is clarifying language. Move the amendment.
Second.
Any discussion on the amendment? Okay, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
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 Opposition?
Move as amended.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on the bill as amended? Okay, any need to do this as a roll call vote? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. That concludes the voting session of the House Ways and Means Committee members. We are on the floor at 6 p.m. on Monday, and we will resume bill hearings on Tuesday at 1 p.m. immediately followed by a subcommittee meeting. So subcommittee folks, please don't plan anything for that time. Are there any, oh, Delegate Griffith, is that your son? Hi. Hey, buddy. Are there any announcements? Delegate Eversol, do you have an announcement?
Yeah, we have Early Childhood has a subcommittee meeting on Monday at 10 a.m. Sorry, the agenda is still getting set. It will be done by midnight tonight. Okay.
Any other announcements? Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.